How's it, guys? We're back here at Bishop's for another episode of the Boks Office. Last weekend I was in Greece. Schalk was on the farm. Jean de Villiers was in Mauritius. He's still in Mauritius. While we're working, he is on holiday. So CJ Stander comes in as the replacement, as the bomb squad. The man that played for Ireland, knows everything about Irish rugby, and he'll be giving us plenty of insight. We're back at Bishop's for another episode of the Boks Office, which is now over. Here he is.
I say no.
Here he is.
Perfect timing.
3 minutes late.
3 minutes late.
We operate on time at the Boks Office.
This is normally John de Villiers' time.
Hey, brother, how you doing? You good? Stand up. How you doing? You all good?
Then we're going for a few beers with a mate who's up there
We're in Joburg.
in Joburg.
Yeah. I'm trying to avoid. I don't want to go out tomorrow because I know it becomes a long day.
You know what type of school has a security that scans your license and your car? The guy goes, "Hey, your car license expired." I was like,
Did they say that now?
yeah. I was like, "Sorry, chum. Is this for the picture, or can we actually have some of
No,
it?"
you can chow, drink as much as you want, bro.
Het jy biertjie
It's
by?
very relaxed. Don't worry. You'll pick it up.
Bring hom 'n bietjie nader, trek hom nader.
Guys, let's open up the Boks Office. Jean de Villiers still in Mauritius, Scala. I think he's flying back, isn't he? Or is
He's
he
in
back?
South Africa. I spoke to him this afternoon, but I reckon he's bailed out of his commitment for the show, Shami. Your
Disgraceful.
commitment
Don't worry. He goes to Mauritius. We have to work.
from Greece, straight in, straight on the Boks Office. That's why our anchor.
Yeah, and now, guys, CJ, I got you before you. I flew in from Greece. You came in from Paul.
I was wondering why John spoke to me. Suddenly he sent me a text earlier in the week. "Are you busy?"
Oh, he's
Tonight?"
been nice to you now.
No, yeah, because he wanted me to be here for the show. That's why. Because he dropped me.
Also, he's got to go through passport control. You know, he's got to stamp it out of Valdivia tonight. Going back in there, he's got to do an online visa application to get back in there.
Yeah.
Talking about Valdivia, where are you on the weekend? Where are you watching the game?
I'm actually in studio this weekend. In Johannesburg. Yeah. So you got a joke. I can see it.
Yeah, no, it's coming. It's coming. You
Yeah,
can see
go on. Yeah, go on.
Okay. Opening 5 minutes. I'll paint a scenario for you. Opening 5 minutes. Ireland score a try. Do you go up and cheer, or do you say, "Shucks, the Springboks could have done better there"?
I knew it.
Where does your loyalty lie?
No,
I was gonna say if you're Brian at Valdivia. Obviously, I'm gonna change the scenario now.
There's no intro. There's no more jokes. It's fine.
Straight into
cut the throat. And I was, I would jump up and say yes. That was a lovely try.
Is it?
Yeah. But I always get a few looks. You know, this year was very interesting for me. I started coaching rugby as well, so I almost got clapped by another coach from another school.
Schoolboy rugby.
Schoolboy rugby.
Oh, that's
I'm not going to name names, but that was
out there.
Shami knows the school really well.
That was it. And we'll get to that later. And then,
Really?
this time
We
of
get
year,
to it right now.
Let's get into it straight away.
No.
You got on a side of the fight to the field.
Almost, yeah.
Is it?
It's very, very interesting.
Clinton van Rensburg.
Is it?
Yes,
Was it
dropping names as well? It's
Straight on to it.
That was
Did you guys grab each other?
No, it was close. It was close.
Just chirping.
Chirping.
Yeah?
I actually enjoyed it. You know, when you finish a game, you don't get the opportunity to chirp people because people get offensive. They go, well, so what? You want to go to court or something? So anyway, what happened was we were playing a game. It was tight. It was the second team.
Yeah.
Boys against Ronnebosch, and it was quite tight. And I think he's obviously he wanted the first team to start playing. We were a few minutes behind or whatever, and we had a bit of a word. What do you call it in English?
Argument.
Argument.
Yeah?
What do you call it in English? We had an argument. But
You lived in Ireland for 10 years. You should know what.
Yeah, but I was for some reason I forgot.
Rusty was coaching him.
Yeah, Rassi was coaching me. So
Schalk, yeah.
and but anyway, we had a few words there, and I had some actually respect for him. It's the first time a back stood up to me. He said, "Look,
Well, he's big.
he's a big guy."
Yeah.
When he walked out, I was like, "Okay, look, it's game on, yeah." But we had a few words, and then after the game, we had a few drinks in the clubhouse. So it was a great day. It was lovely.
Ron Bosch won the game, right?
No, no, that was a problem.
CJ reckons the first time post rugby where you went into that zone where, okay, it's me versus you now.
Yeah, we're gonna fight now. I was thinking to myself, yes, this is gonna be a great example for the boys how to take a guy down. Like,
Was this in front of the grandstand?
no, it was in front of the parents' grandstand. So
Jesus.
it was even worse, and it was in front of a line-out. So it was like a line-out going to happen. We're going to maul, score a try. So it was intense, you know. So very, very intense. And we just had words, and I touched his shoulder, and he touched mine, and it was in that point where we looked in each other's eyes and said, look, we're two big men. Let's just calm down. And,
Okay.
But then I met his brother. Then I met his brother in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's even bigger guy.
No, the brother can fight though.
And when I saw him, I said, I don't want to swear. I'm going to get moved here. So
Yeah.
I said, no, it's fine.
The brother played loose forward, I think.
He did. He was
Ospreys?
He was Ospreys. He was an Ireland as well. I think
Yeah.
he was a non-Ireland as well. And we walked over. I was like, "Ooh, okay, if I'm in trouble, you know, I have no one who can back me here. So let's just leave it here." So we bought a few brandies and we said, "Look, there we go. Move on."
Enjoying the coaching.
It's good. I like it, Shimmy. It's the nice thing about it is you give something back, but you learn. You know, I'm in the development, so I'm in construction. So you get a lot of stuff during the day that takes your attention away, and it's a tough job. But you get to the school, the kids just want to learn. They've got excitement. They want to pursue careers in rugby or whatever it is. There's some guys who just came back from a chess competition, and you have to get him up for a game as well. So I love that. It's a great thing. It's a great thing.
Scala, at the moment, the AC under-20s are on. You guys won it. You guys are a killer team, man.
Yeah, we had a proper side back in, where is it now? Quite a few years, 2002.
Yeah.
Clyde Rathbone.
It was at
Where was it?
Joburg. I
in
still
Joburg.
remember. Yeah.
Clyde Rathbone was like our skipper, so he obviously played for Australia. John de Villiers, John was running on the wing.
The wish. I'm the wish.
He was on wing. I just remember we played at Rao in the semi-final against New Zealand, and they
Still had some speed.
still had some speed. And Francis Swart was off life. He passed away in a car accident.
Ricky January.
Ricky January. Fourie was on the bench. Ricky was starting. Anyway, but this whole game, Sam Tuitupa, remember him? Scrumpet played for Munster.
The tackler, the crash tackler.
Was cleaning out blokes. Cleaned out Pedri Vandenberg at blindside. Johan Smith was playing. Lock for us. And John was the whole time coming on a little shoulder ball going, Swayze, gee hom vir my. Swayze, gee hom vir my. So Swayze's just been playing it in front of him. Eventually, John asked again, he says, "Hey, John, have it for you." And John tried to come around the corner, cleaned his pipe. Absolutely cleaned his pipes. I think John's wind's still to be found somewhere on Rao field. But we managed to sneak through the semi and then got Australia, who also had a super side.
Was Guitar.
Guitar.
Was Guitar.
And we managed to win that one under Jake White.
Yeah.
But we had a top side. JP Nell, Dewey Swartboy, Yori Miller, Ashwin Willemse.
Yes.
John was on the other wing. Where are we going here? Vinpomp van Rooyen was our lock with John Smith.
Was John lock or flank?
Loose forwards was Roland Bernard.
Yeah, you were the one.
I was on the bench.
Yeah, okay.
Pedri Vandenberg, Jacques Cronje was number 8.
Sure.
Yeah.
Some team.
Gary Botha was hooker. Yeah, so proper side. Pat Barnard was tight head. Loose head was Guthrie Steenkamp.
He was.
So out of that side, a lot of Springboks, and then Farouda Priya, JP Nell, myself. I'm running out of bandwidth there. Was on the bench.
Yeah.
Imagine that team off the pitch.
Yeah. You know, was on the bench.
Some big personalities.
Was on the bench.
Who sits in the back?
Yeah, on the bench with me was played lots of games for Italy at lock. Not Carlo De Falvo, the other one. Played with Carlo.
Caldenes?
Yeah.
Caldenes.
Yeah.
What is his name?
I should know it. He was my roommate back then.
Is it?
Memory's gone, yeah.
Is it?
Quinton Caldenes.
So Gary was the one flank that moved to hooker.
He was at Oakdale. Was Quinton Caldenes Oakdale, eh?
Quinton Caldenes.
Yes.
So Gary was the one flank that moved to hooker. CJ, apparently they had big plans for you to go there, and you said, no way, you jumped on a plane to Ireland.
I just had an interview with this, you know, when Ireland's in town, I'm in big demand, you know, everyone I had a conversation with someone on the radio somewhere in Pretoria today, and they asked me the same thing about Gary, and I remember when this conversation started, me playing hooker and what I need to do, so I started throwing in, I started jumping hard, you know, but then they said, okay, now it's scrum time now. We have to test you. Remember, I was playing with Gary. So I was playing Super Rugby with him.
Yeah.
Oh, he has the same age?
No, he's a couple of years older.
He's a couple of years older.
Okay.
He's older than me, but he's not a wimp, but he's up there.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I always used to call him Gary. Anyway, we went to that first scrum. Bah! I remember it felt like if you never played hooker, obviously you have. Yeah. That's why you're a bit short.
Never played anywhere else. But doesn't know
it's your first time on the Boks Office.
It's like bone on bone. Literally every bone in my spine went pa like this. And I got up and Gary said, Yes, they used to call me Siep.
Yeah?
There's another reason for that, but they used to call. He said, "Siep, this place is not for you." I said, Gary, now I know I'm not." I was broken. One scrum done. I said, "I'm on a plane. I'm gone.
Yeah.
Never again."
But what was the reason for moving you to...
It's funny. It wasn't just me. There was a lot of players who were told they need to move. Robbie Kutsia.
I remember Robbie Kutsia for the Lions. Yeah.
Yes,
Lions,
exactly.
yeah.
Lions. He played for Tuks then, and he was with Bulls. He was with me a junior there, and I think they had a plan to move a few players around. And
I remember they doing the same with Derek Keane at one stage.
Exactly.
As well.
So-
Moving him away from flank.
And then so there's obviously coaches. You know, a coach has an idea and he wants to implement something. But then I spoke to Derek. Derek moved to hooker and then back as well. So he almost he shortened his career. He feels that anyway, like that. So there was just
Still short. Yeah.
Ashley
And wide now.
Ashley Johnson prolonged his career.
prolonged it, exactly, exactly.
It was much easier to put the weight on and move to
You
hooker
forgot
than
Ashley Johnson was, and he did well at
he
Wasps.
did proper well. Eh?
Yeah.
Like he was eighth man
He was.
all life.
Malcolm
all
Marx
his
was a
life.
conversion.
Open side or blind side
So
flanker.
some people can do
Yeah.
it. Some people are tough enough. Obviously, I'm not. But I mean, what can you do? It's a tough place. Sure.
It's also the mindset, boys.
Yeah.
Even for me, like the few games they said I must cover lock, I found that brutal. Eh?
Well,
yes, I wanted to run around. Now he's stuck in the scrum. Well, in the games the scrums are not bad. It's in the scrum machine when everything is so tight. That's where it's bad. In the games,
live
it's,
scrums
there's
also.
so much space. Yeah.
You know,
It's
when
generally quite harder, yeah.
the props turn around and they want to give you advice where to put your head. Like it was a few times I was pushed in there as well. I said, boys, Graham Roundtree at Monkey
Yeah,
used to
yeah.
love to put me into lock just to give a bit more power or something. I was probably a bit bigger.
Said explosive power.
Yeah, exactly. So he used to love it. And I said, Graham, just tell me ahead so I can strap my ears or put a scrum cap on. Because the props, they push your head down. They actually go, they like, hey, boys, you put your hips together. That's what you do.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It's
Stay the connection. It's gonna stay tight.
Oh, well, yeah, the connection.
Watch them on the field.
You go 120, like it's crazy. So yeah.
Tell me, talking about Munster, obviously the Irish rugby, the topical thing is Leinster and this ability of them not to go to the next stage. I mean, Scala, we've spoken about it at length. What's your take on it? Is it an extension to the Irish team? What is it? I mean, obviously it's something to be discussed because it keeps happening over and over again.
Yeah, for sure. Look, being involved there with Leinster, especially looking at them first, I always thought that's the thing that thing flows over from Leinster to Ireland. But Leinster have been successful. You know, 3 or 4 years ago, they won URC, back then the Pro 12 and Champions Cup and all those things. So they were successful and they still are. I just think if you look at the players, I remember I'm talking about experience now, 2019 World Cup, we went and we played with our core team, 23, all the games. All the people started, all the bench were on the bench all the time, so we didn't bleed new blood.
Yeah.
And we didn't rest. I remember going to the World Cup, 3 games in it, I actually realized I'm tired. I can't make this.
Yeah.
I got ear infection from just being, not
Run
overworked, but just run down, you know, because you've not training-wise, we've prepped so hard for a World Cup, you know, because you want to give your all. But I also think that mentality, Ireland, they still need to find that place where, okay, right, we are good enough to be in a semi and a final. You know, it's sometimes maybe overconfident to say, yes, we're going to be there, or sometimes they used to just go, okay, we're not good enough, you know, when it gets tough. So it's just a years and years and years of getting to the quarters and not getting past it. It is unfortunately a mind block.
Yeah, Scala, plenty of hype behind. We'll talk about this weekend. You go back a year, this time it was Eddie Jones talking about how good Australia are going to be. How big is this test series? Both you guys, Scala, how big is this test series this weekend?
Yeah, it's enormous. And I think for us as South African, not only rugby players, but fans, we don't get the Irish out here often. You know, we had you guys out here in 2004. 2016, your trip out here where you guys managed to win your first game in South Africa at Newlands, just across the road here. And, you know, since then it's an 8-year spell since we last saw them down here. So, you know, like this big rivalry, and it's our bogey side predominantly because I think we always play them maybe at a World Cup, first time in a long time we did that. And then also, you know, we play them at the end of the year in the north. So, you know, South Africa has got a lot riding on this. You wish it was a 3-match tour, you know, not a 2-match tour. But I mean, there's 2 great sides, and like Ireland last year, obviously didn't make it through the quarterfinal at the World Cup, but that semi-finals, both semi-finals, had the feeling of that should have been a semi-final, that quarterfinal against New Zealand was outstanding. And that last defensive set of New Zealand, what's it, 26, 7, 8, whatever phases it was unreal to close out the Irish side. So, it's not like they choked there, but they didn't get the victory. And I think that's sort of something that's followed them along. And we've got it in cricket. We got to our first final, and I think that is a good thing for us as South Africans, that we've got over the semi-final hurdle. First time we had such a great opportunity to win the T20 World Cup, didn't get it over the line. So like for Ireland, it's been long and waiting for them to get into a semi-final of World Cup, but this series is completely different. We've seen the Irish side go to New Zealand and win a test series across there, which is, something that I think they wanted to do. And I think for Rassie and his team, this is a great opportunity to have another dig at a great victory in South Africa against a very, very good Irish side. And their side's announced. It's a power side.
Your thoughts on the side? Osborne's the big one at fullback.
At fullback.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's played a lot for Leinster. He's played a lot. I think he started 15 games in a row. He's a very good player. I think they, with Hugo Keenan, they were lucky enough with Rob Carney stepping out. Hugo stepped in and it was like transition. Yeah. Within 3 or 4 games, he was a very good player. With Osborne, I think they're trying that same thing. Just throw him into the deep end and go, look, this is your chance. Yeah. Go and swim and make something out of it. Craig Casey, obviously, head of Connemara, I think they want to play a quicker game, especially in the start. And then keeping that pairing between him and Jack Crowley. That's what they're going there for. And then Robbie Henshaw with Bundy, that is a physical, powerful midfield to look after that destructive runners from South Africa. Damien, talking about the loose forwards, Kwagga running down that channel. So that's their mindset. I think they're going to come out, try to play a physical game in the first half and then make it quicker.
I mean, like for this whole generation, it's pretty much the first time they're playing a test match in South Africa.
Yeah.
I mean, no one would have been at 2016. I think I spoke to Josh van der Fleer, and he said he missed the tour in just in 2016. Either was injured or he was on the fringes. And Leinster side don't travel with their top dogs here. Their first exposure was, in their semi-final loss against the Bulls. So, for me, the big one is Gibson Park. So much rides about tempo as Gibson Park. But also, Munster came here and played it quite cleverly against the Bulls, where the 9 and 10 ran it through their boot at altitude, forced the Bulls to exit deep in their own half. And you see teams that come here and they play at altitude, they want to play that high tempo game. You run the risk of running your forwards off their feet as well.
Talking about the fans. Look, Scholars, just quick, you mentioned the Bergie side of it. Is the hate real between the two teams? Or is it something, because you got Eben saying the Irish media disrespected us. I think Damien Daland, I've got it here. The squad taunted him, saying, see you guys in the final, obviously after the round robin game. Damien Dallander says the Irish disrespected them. You hear chirps that Rassie, or I think was it Zebo, saying that he's obviously, I think he apologized to Rassie, saying no, Rassie hates the Irish. Is it, where does this come from? I mean, Scala, 2004, I think we played against Ireland. We didn't hate the Irish. It's never been like it. Where does this come from?
Was it that game in Dublin where Rog quick tap? Was that the game?
No, it was before that.
So the first game, and then Rog quick tap.
Standard.
Paul Honus, I mean, I think Paul Honus. I think he apologized to John Smith 10 years after.
Wow.
After his after his retirement, didn't help us, nothing.
And John told him it's too soon.
We still lost the bloody test match.
Yeah.
But I think whenever two big nations, rugby nations, and two quality sides meet, and look, I think a lot of it's been fueled by the public and the media. We won, obviously, the Rugby World Cup, playing against the All Blacks. The first Six Nations game was Ireland-France, and the whole media, the only thing we got out of it was the Rugby World Cup final that should have been.
Yeah.
Not us against the All Blacks, first race to 4 most successful teams in Rugby World Cup history, but it was obviously the World Cup final that should have been, that was never. So I think there's been a lot being said in the media, and whenever these two, when the media gets involved, that's like a Lions tour. It escalates.
Feels like it.
It escalates, and every word you say in the media, gets taken and put into a newspaper, and it carries extra value. So I think there's massive history. Also the fact that Rassi coached there and Jock Ninaba's coaching there. You know, there's a lot of our players or management that's worked on both sides of the fence in the last 4 or 5 years. So there's so many intricacies, but at the end of the day, it's about two quality sides, which clearly, if the media is involved, don't like each other. And that's all the better for us. The spice is off the charts. I just want to get to see the first 20 minutes on Saturday.
Look,
and you look at that World Cup game, that first 20 minutes, how brutal that was. It was unreal. It was not only our physicality as the Boks. The first 20 minutes, Damon Delander took about 3 Oaks out. But like after that, how physical Ireland was and how good they played for the remaining of that game. And there was nothing in it. You know, whatever was the score, 13-9 or something?
Yeah.
Something like that was...
Yeah.
There's some great contests. I mean, you look at the game also in Ireland before the World Cup where the Boks just lost.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was traveling today and on social media, I watched the highlights from 1998 when Nick Mallet was.
Yeah.
That was a boxing match. That wasn't a rugby
At
game.
Loftus.
Yeah, at Loftus. Jeez, I've never seen. That's red card after red card in today's rugby.
I forgot about that game until I got to Saracens, and Saracens coach, Mark McCall, Smalley.
Yeah.
Smalley, I mean, that's one of the few test matches he played at number 13.
Was he playing that?
And till this day, he's like, I basically ran into the first ruck as an outside centre, 20 minutes in. And I got basically taken out, kicked in the head, and then it was just a free-for-all.
James Dalton fighting, Tyche fighting.
And like, if Tyche is throwing punches, I guess
you know.
someone's pissed him off. Hey? He's the nicest bloke alive.
Yeah, but the fans, the Irish fans, vocal, you know, you obviously know a lot of South African fans. What's the big difference? Who's the better fans, in your opinion?
Yes, Shimi, is this the hot seat or what?
No, that's not the hot seat. It's the Boks Office.
No, you know, it's the Boks Office. The difference, there's not really a big difference, and that's the thing why you know, what I think this is about is, you know, when you always fight with the people you like.
Yeah.
With your wife, if you do like her, I actually do like my wife, so I just had to put that out there. Yeah. So
we're all on. Yeah, me too.
Me too. You're in trouble. But you fight with the people you love, you know.
Putting us in the hot seat here.
Yeah. But you fight with the people you love. So I actually think it's, and it's really my honest opinion, it's the best supporters, and you have the All Blacks and you have everyone else, but so passionate about a game. The Irish are so passionate about the game. You can look at the stadiums. Take Munster, for example, a place where I was. Yep. You can ask him, 20,000 people every weekend. You're playing against, it doesn't matter what team, a place is packed. You know, so they're passionate. They travel the whole world. I know of Irish people who's here, probably 1,000 to 1,200 people that text me and say, and there's surely more that I don't even know. But then the other side of it as well is the Springbok supporters are passionate. You know. Yeah. That is just, and that's the difference. There's no difference really in the culture from the rugby side. I take my little one to school, and it's Black Friday, and she's wearing. I've got her half jersey now, half Irish, half Springbok jersey. Because her mom.
Let's go 50-50.
Yeah, exactly. But, and I can see that passion. I can feel it. The whole school is dressed up. You can feel the vibe around this town, around the city. It's just picking up, and that's the thing. Both sides are passionate, and how they're going to express themselves. This is my team. I'm going to back him. This is what I think about him. So that's why the media is flaring up and everyone is like, yes, let's get into it.
Yeah. How dangerous is this game for the Irish? You think about it. Boks didn't win a World Cup, had COVID, didn't play. So they never got this opportunity. This is the Boks chance at altitude. You know, you can talk about all the positives, the advantages for the Boks. Are Ireland possibly running into an ambush here?
Well, that's why I said, but what Schalk said earlier about the 2 tests. If it was 3 tests, then you probably would have had.
You're going to acclimatize.
Exactly. Yeah. Take your time, you know. So whoever made the 2 tests, that's unlucky. But the first choice of Pretoria is a good one because I think Ireland are going to struggle in Pretoria. It is going to be I won't say it's an ambush, but it is a difficult place. There's a lot of guys who still have to experience altitude, and it's not a thing that you just pick up in a week or so. You have to be used to it for years. I think they'll take I almost said Dublin. Ooh, I'll be in trouble. They'll take Durban. They'll take Durban, but it's again, it's difficult to say now what's going to happen. But that first 5 minutes, we're going to see. Right, is this the game that was played in the round robin in the World Cup? That physical game we all saw James Lowe picking up Etzebeth, Damien the Lender running through 6-7 Oaks. You know, if we, I think that's going to be the first game, and then who's going to stand up there is going to take this one.
Scala, you played in the Lions' first game, was the one that it was Durban.
I missed Durban, and then obviously
Pretoria was the
I
brutal
had like quite a role to play in the second one.
Because you missed that a bit also. Eh?
Yeah, no, I missed the first 10 minutes, and then I missed the following 8 weeks after that. But like, yeah, I missed the first 10, and then I tell you what, like if you watch back those. Maybe not so much the first one in Durban because, you know, we pretty much dominated, especially the first 40, maybe 50, and then the Lions came back. But that second game in Pretoria, I mean, that was bloody brutal. You know, we were flying into each other. And I think this one has got the makings of the same because you forget when you look at it in isolation now, what's been said in the media and the build-up, you know, carrying on. Like this game has been built up since the World Cup finished, you know, like, and it's only getting more intense, and a lot of the players are coming back for the first time playing, you know, for us as South Africans back as World Cup champs, double World Cup champs. So you're playing world number one, you're playing against Ireland, who by all accounts had the world number one ranking for ages. So, I mean, the emotion is off the charts. And Pretoria is one of those cauldrons that brings out the best in everyone. You know, your drive to the stadium, you know, it's probably good enough motivation for any opposition or visiting sides. You're going to be flicked the bird quite a few times going in there. It's not nice and peaceful.
No.
You know, you go past the Eastwood's Tavern there and you know where you stand. You know they're not supporting you. So I think it's one of those games.
As you come down
you
all know that drive when you play.
And I think it's one of those games that like everything around it, you know, just amplifies the players' need and will to go out and give it a big puff. And the physicality will be off the bloody charts this weekend. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, the Irish change room, I mean, I think Kurt Small told me before Ireland play England, it's a different
vibe.
It's a different vibe. What would it be like before they played the Springboks? I mean, if you're in that change room this weekend, what would it be like 10 minutes before? You know, before you know that feeling just before you're about to run on.
The one you come back, you run in, get your jersey, and then you know, I think Peter O'Mahony, being captain, he's a guy who he doesn't speak a lot in the run-up, you know. So he has a few words and stuff, but that 10 minutes there is his time, you know. He gets a few good swear words out in the right time, and he pulls a few lads together, and that's probably the most Irish conversation or speech you'll hear. It's like he just climbs underneath your skin, and then he pulls you together. And Johnny Sexton was the same. He was. They cool and calm, do the warm-up before the game, and then you come in, and then Paulie, all of them. So there is a bit of a emotional connection between the players there. Everyone is psyched up. I know that will be the same atmosphere as when you play against England, for sure. Because there's a lot on the line, actually. You are playing against world number one, something you want to prove. You want to win the world champs, and that's the Springboks.
You've never come to South Africa. You've won one game in South Africa, and you've never won a test series here. So,
no, surely it's a team with ambitions. Yeah, that's the Irish setup. So, knowing them, and it's not being cocky, but they would go. Our goal is to win 2 tests, and that's it. And what do we need to get there? Boks the same. You know, if any other team in the world goes, we're just going to go there and see what we can do, then get back on the plane.
Suppose this is a one to cement your legacy. If you think about it from an Irish point of view, you've travelled, you've been called chokers, you can't get through you can't get through into a world semi-final. You've got the opportunity to beat the double world champions away from home in South Africa. So what a position for them to be. Scala, we'll quickly go into some tactics here. Springboks, I think 12 World Cup winners named in the Boks team. Yeah. Any surprises? CJ, you can also come in here.
Not really. I think a big shot in Sasha Feinberg and Ngomazelu's arm for making the utility back. But I guess we sort of called it why it was picked last week. Was obviously with the loss of Damien Willem, so we knew that we're going to go 6-2. Even though Rassie said he's still toying with a 7-1 split, but like 6-2 is the one that makes us feel more comfortable.
Let's wait till kickoff.
I know. Obviously, number 8, we shortened staff at the moment with the suspension on Jasper Wiese. Kwagga, I mean, I've got no issue with Kwagga starting. He's probably not the most natural guy playing back, like say in a Dwayne Vermeulen role, which is so good in the air at the back. So like plug him in, let him play towards the ball I go. You know, reinforce your backfield with, we've got, you know, obviously Cheslin, Kirtley's in the backfield. Willie, you know, has had a phenomenal season. And then for me, you know, one of the big things, and Shimmy, you must answer this, is if Frans Malherbe can get to Porter. You know, we saw in that semi-final, one of the big storylines was Wilco Louw's dominance from pretty much the get-go. And like, you know how the Boks, you know, small little things like that give us enormous energy. For me as well, I think we've got to look at the transition with having TB, Tony Brown, as our skills coach, attacking coach, and also Jerry Flannery as our defense coach, because the Irish side and the way they attack can put us under pressure.
Talking about the Springbok selection also, Gerard Steenekamp.
Steenekamp on the bench.
That was probably, in terms of front row, that was probably the one for me that I didn't sort of expect to.
Yeah, and I guess like probably Salman Murat, but like out of the group that he selected, the shortlist, that I don't think there was much other option. Like I thought sometimes when we're in this position, we pick the 3 locks and then we put extra loose for, because we know like Peter Steph's probably going to go 80 for us on the weekend. You can't see Sia going 80. Kwagga will push it as far as he can, and then you've got obviously Eskom coming off the bench. RG always makes a big impact off the bench, just through his different skill set he offers.
I think just on that loose forwards, I think he probably selected Kwagga and Eskom to lock down that breakdown. You know, the Irish play of that quick ball, they make sure that that breakdown is looked after. So those 2 guys, you saw with Eskom jumping in on that semi-final again, he disrupted Leinster's breakdown. And if he did that, and they couldn't get going. So that's the selection there. I think that makes the biggest sense in that whole pack.
And then obviously we've got, you know, Marks who's back, which is, you know,
especially with the breakdown.
Especially with the breakdown for us, like he's something else. So like he survives that clean more than all of us could do together. And just
you don't want to be there.
No, you don't want to be there.
He's incredible.
We don't have a specialist 8. You talk about reinforcing the backfield. Schalk, I mean, you guys, I mean, you both played 8, you both played loose forward. How does it work with the communication now? Because Peter Steff, funny enough, for Toyota Blitz, has been playing 8 a lot of the season in Japan. So someone has to go forward and be in the defensive line. How do they determine who's going to stand back for the high kicks, the high...
Well, CJ would tell you, he played there lots as well. But there's 2 sides to it. The one is obviously of kicking more, you know, catching kickoffs or defensive plays where you drop back. And the rest is like once you're in the backfield, it's communication with the 10 or the 15 who's with you. And sometimes they want you to go half, you know, if they feel the 9's not in a good position, then you run up half and you try and diffuse some of those high bombs. But Kwagga's not very natural under the high ball, nor is a guy like Evan Roos, if you had to think you're playing him at number 8. Like a guy like Cameron Hanekom, who's injured, is very natural in the backfield. He's got a nice skill set, you know. But then Ulrich Louw, who they play at 8 sometimes, is not very natural in the backfield.
Oh, that's actually interesting, because you think about Dwayne, Jasper Wiese wasn't a natural under the high ball.
No,
actually,
still
Dwayne
not.
has probably been the only one.
That you can skill. It's not a thing you can learn. I tried it. I wasn't the best either. So what we normally, if you're not the best back there, you have to be there. I remember Felix Jones. He was with Munster before he went to the Springboks. So he had me in the backfield. So he said to me, it's easy. If it's an easy catch, take it. If it's not, just leave it for the winger. So that's probably what they're going to do. They'll probably leave Kwagga on the back and say to him, look, stay there, but you've got Kirtley, you've got the guys. If you can't take it, just let them go. And then be there to secure the ball.
Jean de Villiers is a big name in Munster. Yes, I'm just asking you. No. He talks because he's a big name at Leicester.
Oh, really?
And he says at Munster and Paul, he says he's a big name.
No,
so I just want to, please.
Paul is a big name.
He's a big name.
Yeah, he's a big name in Paul. He drives it out. He's
bigger than Scala.
You see
100%. He took me there not too long ago for a little Paul Gym fundraiser. Like he introduced me to a room of 1,200 people, knew every single bloke in that room.
By name.
By name.
And that's the thing about him. I'm surprised that he knows this amount of people and he knows it by name.
I mean, you know how big a thing he is in Paul? He even caught a little pickpocket the other day. He ran down the
It was
street.
a 5-year-old pickpocket.
And the most,
It was all over the
the
newspapers.
most amazing thing is, as he ran out, he was like, please don't injure yourself. Please don't injure
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah, his flip-flops gone.
And the guy was gapping him, and someone gave him a little shoulder check, and then he grabbed him.
He's probably going to be like mayor or something of Paul.
100%.
I reckon the next 2 years. Yeah. So you know those posters that goes up for those elections. He's going to.
But in Munster, sorry, is
So
it
Munster,
Limerick or
Limerick, he was, but if Limerick, but he as so we used to train at the University of Limerick.
Yeah.
And there's a story floating around. I haven't asked him because he's a busy guy. He's got bodyguards around him. Apparently, so the fine when you're late at Munster training is like €100.
Yeah.
Okay? He parked on the grass and rather got his car clamped by the security because the release fee is €50.
Oh, Jesus.
So
How
he
tight is that?
so he parked everywhere. Everyone said, John is late. He's just on the curb. And that's it. He left it there. That's the story. It's floating around. That is the story.
Nice one, man. Tell me, so back to Ireland. So Gibson Park missing, Mac Hansen.
Yep.
Sorry, Jack Conan.
Yeah.
3 big losses there.
Yeah. You said it earlier, Jameson Gibson Park is a guy who brings a lot of tempo. That ball is quick, it's secure. He's got a very good box kick on him, and his defense is actually one of his biggest things that people don't know about. So he's a big loss. And then with Mac Hansen, Mac is the type of guy, I never played with him. I just saw him playing last few years. He's a guy, he came in straight in, no fuss.
He's a good baller.
He's incredible. The kickoff once that kickoff he chased, caught it out of the inner six race against France, scored a try. I mean, he's a big loss with his speed. And then Jack Conan, I think McCarthy at lock has brought a lot of physicality, and that's what Jack Conan did. A bit of a ball player, but McCarthy at lock has brought that in. He's a bit more fluent with the ball. He's not loose forward, but he can actually play he's essentially Peter Steph the Toy, the Irish Peter Steph the Toy.
Yeah.
Joe McCarthy.
Yeah.
So he's a big guy.
He can run, eh?
He runs hard. And tries to score this.
Runs good lines,
Very good. And he's a smart player. He actually steps into gaps, and he's not a guy, he just uses his size.
Got a nice little offloading game as well.
And then Kalen Doris.
He's more behind the back. They've got that one move behind the back down the blind side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Kalen Doris is he's just at the start of his journey. He is an unbelievable player. Josh van der Vlier works hard and he plays great rugby, but he makes so much space for the rest of the players. I love to play with Josh.
Yeah.
He hits the breakdowns, he makes the tackles. I could have just taken the ball and run because I know Josh.
the wide channels.
He's
Exactly.
He's doubling up.
That's no wide channels. Yes, boy.
You sort business out there.
And
CJ came straight to the rugby.
I was just straight here down the breakdown. And
he got anxiety in the open spaces out the back there.
Kalen Doris is an unbelievable player. So, Jack will be missed, but and Pete, that back trio is
That's where the Irish will have. Tyke Byrne, I like.
Tyke Byrne is a great player.
He's
Great
great.
player.
Mobile, contests, steals ball on the ground.
The
Carries well.
Six Nations this year, those first 3 games, like the standout feature was probably Joe McCarthy and Tyke Byrne and their combination.
And Tyke Byrne, funny story, because this is what we talk about stories, not rugby. Tyke Byrne used to sell pizzas in Dublin because he didn't have a contract.
At what age?
Unreal.
No, it was like 20, 21, 22. Then he went over to Scarlet,
Yeah.
played there. I think did Rassi sign him with Munster? Played for the Scarlets. Like for the first year, he was going all right, and he started climbing. And the second year, I think he won all the games they won. He was man of the match, all the games. Came to Munster. Munster's captain now. That story.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. Now he's probably one of the best players in the team.
Yeah.
And that's a great story, and he's still the same guy. If you call him now, he'll answer the phone, and he'll probably sit and I don't know if he still eats pizza, if he sells.
What do you want?
Exactly.
But he's for me. You look at the Irish team. There's certain guys you'd say Lions team was pick Sculler. He'd be one of the guys that you'd say you look at the props. Obviously, Dan Sheehan.
Yeah. Oh wow! We forgot about him.
Great player.
Yeah. Furlong. So, Tyke Byrne.
Porter.
Porter. You've still got Gange.
Yeah.
There's a couple of guys on that team. You'd say, okay, Bandi Aki. you know, you look at a couple of guys, they say, okay, definite. For me, Tag Burn is one of those guys.
Yeah,
You say, if you
100%.
pick a Lions team,
James Lowe.
James Lowe,
James Lowe.
definitely in.
Yeah. Gibson Park, if he's
Yeah,
fit.
Gibson
Yep.
Park. So there's a core,
Yeah.
there's a core team, core like bunch of lines there.
There is, and it's some of them are still a young generation, young players, very very young. There's a few getting older now. It's funny you mentioned earlier. Peter O'Mahony didn't play in 2016. He was injured as well.
Yeah.
So his first time, he's captain. So he's the talisman for them. So he's gonna.
It is, I think, a thing. You get used to it. Like I remember a couple of years ago now, New Zealand came out here and they played in Nelspruit, Mbombela. And it's the first time, like the bulk of that side came to South Africa because we moved, you know, there was COVID and then we moved across to URC. And those players came here and that was a big shock for their system, playing in South Africa, a test match in South Africa. You come here and you play in a final, a semi-final, quarter-final, you know it's a big thing.
Yeah.
But if you play in a test match, it is a big thing. So, yeah, it's a pity that it's only the 2 tests.
Just who organises those?
The schedule's got to change. We've been asking for a longer tour forever. But, you know, like this test series for me
like
is so close. And like because I'm South African, I'm sitting here in Cape Town and it's raining and it's lekker and I've already finished the braai and I'm on my second beer. You know, like I'm favouring the Boks, but you can easily see these 2 games, nothing in it, going the other way. Yeah.
That's your prediction then?
I'm going
Okay,
Boks.
let's go. We talk predictions now. We're almost at the end. Sculler?
I'm going Boks, but like by
Tomorrow, that's obviously this weekend.
that much this weekend. But like, I mean, you know, we're talking about Loftus. We saw the Bulls in the final against Glasgow, and I mean, Glasgow
see that
was
coming.
outstanding.
No.
Yeah.
No.
CJ?
If Ireland comes out physical and they play physical game, same game Munster played, physical in the front, put them behind them, they'll win. But I think it's going to be a tough ask to win in Loftus.
In 2016, when you guys came out, like obviously the first game was in weather like this in Cape Town. I mean, it's a no-brainer for you guys. You targeted that's your game. You go 1-0 up. You go to the half felt. Did your approach change? Because not really, because you were 20 points to something up.
19-0.
19-0 half time.
Firstly, we should have not gone up to the change room because I'd walked to
Ellis Park. Up the hill.
I was gone for 4 years, came back. I got Volstiak walking up the steps. I wasn't even playing. I was banned, you remember?
Yes.
So we should have had a chat on the middle. But anyway, it's,
A lot of teams just do it inside the
Just
tunnel,
inside.
right in the beginning of the tunnel,
Yeah.
because the crowd's not there. Have a
Exactly.
chat there, then you walk out.
Exactly. So, but what the game plan actually changed. We wanted to slow down the first half. You know,
Yeah.
just don't give them any set pieces because they dominated some of the lineouts.
Yeah.
And we wanted to second half then come out. So we played just behind them. But then second half we came out and then if you remember that we were on Combrink first game.
Yeah.
We came in, bumped 3 guys,
What a
Paddy
team,
Jackson on
man,
the
yeah.
side, try time. I was like, what the hell's going on here? And we lost that game 36-19
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
30-19.
Yeah.
So the game did change, but to implement that quickly, and that's why I say, even me, going up to Pretoria just for a weekend, you know, if you're not used to that altitude, it claps your lungs. Huh?
Yeah. So you reckon Ireland if they come out physical?
Yes, for 100%.
Yeah, but yeah.
Then we're talking about a 3-point game. If not, then but now someone going to give my prediction for Durban. Ireland's going to win that game.
The Durban one.
Yep.
Okay.
Then it's going to come.
Oh, he's
down.
coming earlier. He's in the hot seat.
No, I'm telling you now. I believe it because they.
Yeah.
I know what they can do, and I know the players, and I know what their goals,
Yeah.
their mindset would be to
Yeah.
come out here to win 2 tests. That is it. If you want to be number 1 in the world,
You can't have it any other way. You know, you can't target the second one.
and then hopefully pitch up for target the second one, and then just flow through the first one. You know.
Yeah.
So, but it is going to be yes. I haven't been as excited for a test since I've played.
No, it feels like
Whenever I
like
watch-
a line series.
Whenever I watch these games, like, I mean, we obviously were a part of them, but like, I mean, it's been a while now since we've been a part of one. And like the intensity, like we just now fans sitting close, we're having to call the game, you know, which we're so privileged to do, but the intensity and the hits and the speed and the accuracy of the game is something to behold. And I hope it delivers that, you know, like, yes, we want feeling and yes, we want, you know, but like,
You want to see a good rugby game.
we want to see proper rugby games, yeah.
Yeah, it's almost similar to the Bulls Leinster game where I think after 20-something points, It was 0-0, but two teams going at each other.
No, that was incredible. Yeah.
Last one, guys. Sorry, we'll talk about other business around the world. The battle between the two coaches, Rassie against Farrell. You haven't been coached by, you don't know Andy Farrell that well.
I have, yeah.
Oh,
He
you
coached
have?
me for 3 years. He coached
Yeah.
me with the Lions as well.
And you've been coached by Rassie too?
Yes, yeah.
Scala, you've played with Andy?
No, played against him, played a Rugby World Cup final against Andy.
Yeah.
And then obviously played about 80 games with his son.
Yeah.
Later on with Faz, little Faz, small Faz. And obviously Rasta played against Rassie.
Yeah.
And then, Rassie was my coach, then director of rugby. And, then I played against him
Yeah, in Munster.
in Munster. Yeah.
What's the vibe between the two, though? I mean, obviously, Rassie has sent out the Irish team, I think, a week ago, which I love the social media stuff, and it gets it gets interest in the game going. There's always banter between the coaches, but you sit in the commentary box and you see these guys, they'll shake hands, almost like, okay, cool, now it's time to go.
I think in motor racing they've got quite a good saying is like the bullshit stops once the flag drops. And rugby is the same. You can have all of this, build up to it. Like it comes down to the players who's best prepared playing rugby. And I like Big Faz. He's a top man. I've had a few beers with him. He's a great rugby man. And Rassie's the same. Yes, like over the years, Rassie's grown a few more personalities. Like he's got the social media angle to it, which he didn't have. Definitely not playing for the Vrystaat back in the 2000s. But
Frikkie Erasmus, or what's the other guy?
Johan. Frikkie. Johan Erasmus. But like they are, they're rugby men, and like they want their teams to succeed. They want them to play the best they can. And if you want a great rugby game to take place, you need the teams to be prepped as good as they can be. You need the best players on the pitch. You need good weather, which we're going to get in Pretoria.
Consistent weather there.
And then we need a referee. Right. We need a referee who wants to play game. We need a referee who wants to let this game go. Not dominate it, let the game flow.
Yeah.
Cool, guys. And then All Blacks against England. First test at Dunedin, Razors in the mix. England, there's a bit of a revolution going there in terms of.
I don't know the team off by heart, but I saw that the team that Razor picked, and he wants to play rugby.
Ball.
Feta's in, DMAC is at
10.
At 10. Bowden Barrett's on the bench. We all thought, who's going to be the next 10 for, because obviously with Mahunga moving away. So they want to play rugby. And this English side can put them under pressure. I don't know if they can run with them for a full 80 minutes if the All Blacks are accurate, which we know Razor's got this ability to free players up but still stick to a structure like the Crusaders. You don't win 7 Super Rugbies or whatever he did.
7 finals, you don't do
7 finals without being so loose and knowing exactly what the attention to detail must be next level. So I think, I don't know how long this English side can go with him, but it's a good English side.
But the thing is, if Marcus Smith decides to dance with New Zealand, then you're in trouble. Then it's tickets.
Then you shepherd hook and you put someone else on.
That's the only thing that worries me about. If you have George Ford and a Farrell, they can kick that game till extra time.
I think
whereas Marcus Smith will try have a go, and so will Mackenzie. If you had to put those two guys having a go at each other,
I think this Kiwi side, you can ask them to exit from deep. So if you're England, then you play your set play, your 3 or 4 phase set play. Give you those strikes. Let your runners run at them, and then after that return to the boot and ask DMAC and Perafeta to run from 80 meters out to test match level rugby. See how brave they are. Because I think after a while, if you play the boring game against them, put them under pressure, you're nice and accurate, the crowd's going to expect them to run like they do in Super Rugby. And this is not Super Rugby, So catch 1, catch 2, third one, they might catch it and go, let's have a little nibble. And that can go sour quickly. But I mean, I've been following a little YouTube thing, and Razor is such a likable character. So
he's got chatties. He's got infectious personality. You can see why he's done. He's done.
Been around for a long, long time too.
He knows the game and understands it. That's
so as an Irishman, you can't say England will win. Then, so you say All Blacks.
100%.
It's kind of New Zealand. I personally think England might win this one. Definitely not the next one at Eden Park. If there's a chance.
I've got a similar sentiment. I think they'll run close. I don't know if they can win this one, but if there's one they're going to win, it's the first test, not the second test.
Definitely not it.
Jonesy will pull some trick out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Felix.
Oh, so Felix Jones.
Will
you're
make one or
right,
two. They'll score 2 or 2 tries that he has worked his
Like
way around.
I mean, Japan started off really well. That's the only thing we can go off. And England was proper against Japan. They played well.
Defense was good. Yeah.
Outstanding.
Australia, Wales.
Australia.
The dance, what do they call it? The dance of the desperate.
Yeah, geez, shame, man. Like,
It's a rebuild for
I can't believe I'm saying this, but like, you actually want Australia to be on a comeback charge. You know, like, you know, back in the
Spice things
2000s, if you asked me this and they were a really good side, I probably would have never said it. But like, I think it's time for Australia to turn that corner.
We need a strong Australian team.
Exactly. Knowing Joe Smith, he would go, right, boys. We've been mucking around now for a few years and it's been awesome. It's been lovely. Here we go. Headmaster, this is what we're going to do. Do this and we win. Knowing him,
You back him to fix it. Eh?
for sure. There's one guy, I played 40 odd tests under him. You love him or you hate him. There's no floating around. You're in the squad or you're out, and if you follow his plan and you do his thing, you win rugby, you win games.
Yeah.
So
The reality is, I mean, just we've got about 5 minutes left, but you want a strong Australia. You look at this, I mean, we know Griggs quite well. He comes out here. You look at the Australian teams we grew up watching. That's what we see as Australian rugby. You know, the Brumbies coming out here. That Reds team remember at 4XL, what was the stadium in Brisbane?
Brisbane, Suncorp.
Yeah, Suncorp. Or
They won it in when the Crusaders. I mean, that's the earthquake year. What was it? 2011.
Yeah, that was it with Quade Cooper and Kenya. We need for the Southern Hemisphere rugby and rugby championship.
Digby Ione.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
You actually want a
How good was he?
strong Wallaby team. You actually want a strong Wallaby team. So
Ridicky
hopefully
Sama.
yes,
they can get one over. Argentina against France. A team we don't speak a lot about is Argentina, the World Cup semi-finalist, Jamaica, against a France team that's probably rested 20 players.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually a pity, I think, whenever this time of the year comes, the French side normally, you know, the top 14 finishes a week later normally than the rest of us, but it's still a good French side, and I guess, you know, like there's so much depth there. It's just what mentality they go into this with, you know, like Argentina, it's not the easiest place.
no.
We as
good game, Monday
the
to
Boks,
Friday.
we've had quite a good run there for a while now, but you know that if you pitch up and you 5% below what you should be, you're getting a hiding.
Yeah. So you reckon Argentina possible unknown French youngsters? I'll go with Argentina.
I'll go 1-1 there.
CJ, Argentina.
I'll go 1-1 on the Test series there.
1-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a game where the French won't quite be
Ready. Yeah, it depends how the
ready
week
for it.
was. As you just said, Monday to Friday.
Yeah. Where's Scotland? Are they celebrating the Yossi wins?
No, they've got I think they got Canada,
American tour.
Oh.
They got
Awesome tour though. I think they're going Canada.
One in one
Amazing tour. I want to be on one of those. We never got that lucky with tours.
So I think they're down there.
Thank you very much, guys. We're going to wrap it up now. Scala, so you in studio this weekend?
This weekend I am actually at the stadium. Yeah,
at the stadium.
I'm at Loftus. I'm in studio next week with CJ.
CJ, this weekend, studio.
And next week studio, yep.
So Durban will be an interesting one. I like your perspective on
Yeah, I really think the Irish going to, that game is the one. They're not banking on that one. They'll come out obviously on Saturday, but that game is just where everything will click. You know, a few boys are rested as well, and they'll be flying.
Thanks, bud. Thank you very much, CJ. I can't believe Jean's a big name in Limerick. I can't still
Only because he saved himself 50 quid.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, guys. Enjoy the test matches. We'll be back next week to obviously review the first game and all the other internationals on the Boks Office, which is now closed.